This is Akashvani. In the program Spotlight, now we bring a discussion on important bills in Parliament. The participants are Anand Mishra, political analyst, and Chetan Chauhan, journalist.
The monsoon session of the parliament is going on and likely to end this week. But in this session, which started on a stormy note with disruptions over the Manipur issue, important bills like the Delhi Service Authority Bill, the Forest Conservation Act, the Biodiversity Act, and the most important, the first law of its type in the country, the Data Protection Bill, the Jan Vishwas Bill, the Press and Registration of Periodical Bill, IM Bill, and several other bills have been approved or introduced in the House. So Anand, can you like to throw some light on one of the most contentious bills which was passed by Parliament yesterday on the Delhi Services Authority Bill?
Chetan, as rightly pointed out, this is a very important bill and that saw a lot of political controversy. Even before its introduction, we saw Aam Aadmi Party making an issue of federalism on it, calling Congress for not coming out categorically about its stand initially. And Congress, possibly because of the opposition of its local unit in Delhi, to be seen as siding with the Aam Aadmi Party, took long time to come around and support AAP protesting against the bill. The bill seeks to dilute the powers of the Delhi government over services. That was the opposition in charge. They were saying that it's a kind of central government is taking control of Delhi via LG. While the government said was that services were earlier always with the central government till the matter went to the Supreme Court and decision came, which they had to alter through the ordinance route. So this bill seeks to establish a permanent authority, that National Capital Civil Service Authority, which will take decisions with respect to the postings and control of civil servants. This authority will be headed by Chief Minister of Delhi and will consist of Chief Secretary, Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi, and Principal Secretary Home, Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi. So basically, the charge of the opposition is that even if Chief Minister is in disagreement, the authority can make recommendations with the consent of two others. And the bill has significant changes from the earlier ordinance promulgated by Centre on May 19. Yet some of its provisions are seen as interfering in the Delhi government's work. Rather, the Aam Aadmi Party government has charged that AMSET weakening its hold on the Delhi administration.
Yeah, Anand, I think you are quite correct. But services primarily in a union territory of Delhi, which is not a full state, we should remind our listeners. It is a special arrangement where Delhi has a legislative assembly, but it doesn't have rights over bureaucrats and employees like other states have. Earlier also, the LG was the final authority in appointment to the Chief Minister. Recommendations were mostly accepted. But creating this authority, in a way, appears to dilute the powers of the Chief Minister recommending transfer and posting of employees. And I think the Delhi government may challenge the setting of this authority in the Supreme Court. But, this session, apart from this highly debated Delhi bill, other important bills have also been passed, like in case of environment, the Forest Conservation Amendment Act, which allows approval to projects without mandatory approval from the Forest Advisory Committee of the central government, especially the projects which are of strategic importance along the borders within 100 kilometers, the borders across the country, also some linear projects, and also in the Naxal affected areas. There was a lot of resistance to the amendments proposed by the government, both from the Congress and the civil society groups. What do you have to say about this Forest Conservation Act and the Biodiversity Act also?
Yeah, this Forest Conservation Amendment Bill, which has exempted certain forest lands from the earlier Forest Conservation Act of 1980, basically it makes it easier to acquire lands in those areas. So that has been criticized by the environmental bodies and civil society groups as diluting the Forest Act. But the government hopes that this will be kind of a more industry-friendly bill. And we always have protested the amendment. They describe the state of forest as fragile, and only 25% of India's forest land area is covered by forests. And coming in this background, the bill will further strip the forestry.
Anand, my personal opinion is that one of the most important bills which has been approved by Lok Sabha will be discussed by Rajya Sabha is the Data Protection Bill. The new draft which the government has prepared, it was the first time that the government is proposing setting up an authority for protection of data. And I would also recall a recent case from Hyderabad where some of the cyber fraudsters had data about 6 crore people in India, a huge number. And as we know, our data, which is with the different companies, is being regularly being used or misused. So how do you think this data protection law will enable the privacy of the people, protection of the data, and improve the compliance of the companies, especially the tech companies, on people's data?
Yeah, Shitan, but there are some genuine concerns of the misuse of the personal data visually mined. We have seen a lot of cases of leakage of Aadhaar data and other personal data of individuals, which has not only led to monetary losses to them, but also loss of privacy. So I think the government will have to bring in strong safeguards to address these concerns. Because the bill says that this data fiduciaries will be obligated to maintain the accuracy of data, keep data secure, and delete data once its purpose has been met. And the bill also grants certain rights to individuals, including the right to obtain information, seek correction, and erase and grievance redressal. So, rightly you pointed out that there has been concerns regarding data not only in India, across the globe. There have been cases of fraud due to data leakage. The central government seeks to establish a Data Protection Board of India to educate on non-compliance.
In the data protection bill, one major concerns which many of the civil society groups have raised, that it will lead to death of the right to information law, which is the only law which empowers citizens to ask questions, and it will also lead to issues being raised on individual corruption will not be allowed, because the third party or the personal information of a person will not be allowed, because this law also aims to amend the Right to Information Act. So what do you have to say on this?
Yeah, the concerns are genuine. Concerns are genuine because RTI has been a very strong arm against corruption, and it has empowered the citizens because the officials were forced to disclose information. So it will have to be seen as in how we progress after the passage of the bill, because the concerns are there, Chetan, and these concerns are not misplaced. Already the RTI Act has got diluted on a number of occasions. So denial of data in such cases will further complicate the matter.
One important bill which is coming up is the IAM Amendment Bill. If you recall, in 2017, government brought in an IAM law to give more autonomy to the Indian Institute of Management across the country. Now, through the amendment, they are trying to bring back the government interventions or some sort of government supervision oversight into the IAMs, because there have been studies, it has been felt that the IAM, once autonomy was given, has gone down. The IAM ranking in the global management ranking has also fallen, and I am not considered as the global management school leaders in the country. So the IAM bill, what sort of impact it will have? Because there is some opposition that the autonomy of the IAM should not be taken back.
There have been two reviews about this IAM bill. There is a view that it will the government has shown courage in seeking to restore accountability in the IAM system. Has also been criticism on the other side that it takes away the autonomy of the premier institution, and IAM has a history of top quality performance, top quality rating, because the bill seeks to kind of regulate their functioning, and the bill designates the President of India as visitor of every institute by the Act. So there would be genuine concerns about how much it affects the autonomy of the institute, because the concerns about autonomy have been there ever since the bill was sought to be introduced. There is this IAM board to initiate any inquiry against an institute of it has not been functioning in accordance with the Act. So this is quite a bill which quite makes sweeping changes.
Anand, let's talk about the two health bills which have also been introduced, the nursing and the midwife commission bills, which are basically to regulate the nursing sector and the dental sector, and these bills are to bring them at power at the regulatory level with the medical commission law. So how do you think that these two bills will help in improving these two key medical education sectors?
Chetan, these two key medical sector education sectors have been, kind of an ignored thing, and there have not been much of a systematic policy there. So the bill is expected to take care of those lacunas, and especially this dental regulation bill, that is expected to provide for quality and affordable dental education. We have seen dental education centers mushrooming across the country. There has been a kind of no oversight on functioning. So this bill, which seeks to repeal the Dentist Act 1948, the solution of the Dental Council, this will regulate all aspects relating to dental education, dental profession and dental institutions. This ambitious move to set up a dental advisory council to advise and make recommendations to the commission may have far-reaching impact. May this allow inspections to assess and rate the dental institutions and to grant permission for establishment of new dental colleges or starting postgraduate courses and other things. Once the bill is passed, it is hoped that the quality of dental education will improve.
The monsoon session started at a very stormy note, and for the first 8 to 10 days, it appeared that this session will be a washout. But then the government was able to get some of the bills approved. And if you see the number of bills which have been approved in the current session, it appears that the government has been able to deliver on a healthy business from the House. The key and the important bills and some of the controversial bills have also been approved. And now the discussion is ongoing on the Manipur issue in Lok Sabha. From August 11th, in Rajya Sabha, the issue is likely to be discussed. So the perception is to some that it has been a good business session for the government. So what do you have to say on this?
Yeah, rightly said, Chetan, the government has managed to carry out its legislative business, not majorly disrupted. The only matter of concern, which is not only limited to this session or this government, is that for last many years, parliament sessions have been a total washout, and the very spirit of parliamentary process that laws are made only after thoroughly debating it, and political representatives representing the populace, their voters, the viewpoint of the countrymen in parliament on key legislations, that is not happening. That's the matter of concern which all political parties will have to sit and find out a solution to it, because we have seen occasions when MPs crossed the party lines while disrupting houses have justified it, citing it some sort of a parliamentary tool. That is now going to ridiculous levels, because we see one after another session getting completely washed out. And the government today has found a way out by passing the bill amid the din. So while it helps the completion of the legislative business, the question that should be haunting all of us, including the lawmakers, that is it including the voice of the people? Because when members of parliament are not speaking on the key legislations, how the concerns of people at the ground are being represented?
Yeah, Anand, very valid point. Is the issue to ponder upon whether the members of parliament are discussing the key legislative issues and taking up the people issue in the House. With this, I really want to thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you, Chetan, for a very lively discussion.
You were listening to a discussion on important bills in Parliament. The participants were Anand Mishra, political analyst, and Chetan Chauhan, journalist. This program is produced and presented by the News Services Division of Akashvani. You can listen to it on a mobile app, News on AIR. This program is also available on a YouTube channel, News on AIR Official. You may share your feedback about this program through email at airnsdtalks@gmail.com or WhatsApp on 9289094044.